Welcome back. You're watching HFO-TV. HFO-TV is co-sponsored by the construction, repair, and restoration firm J.R. Johnson, the real estate law firm Baljanik LLP, the tax deferral accommodator Butler Exchange Group, the mortgage banking firm Gantry Incorporated, and forensic building consultants providing building structural science services.
Welcome back to HFO TV. I'm Greg Frick, partner at HFO Investment Real Estate. And today we have back with us Doug and Luke of Portland Neighborhoods. Welcome. Thank you, gentlemen, for taking the time to come back and speak with us. I know last time we talked about the Historic Resource Code project that's kind of in play. Thought we could take a couple minutes today and just kind of introduce the Design Overlay Zone Amendments, DOZA as it's kind of known throughout the city. Maybe talk a little bit about what that is and kind of what's going on regarding that.
Yes, DOZA basically rewrote the standards for design review and the guidelines. And one of the major changes was there's two paths. There's design review where you go through the design commission, and there's the standards path, which many of your members may be aware of, where you can just meet certain specific standards and there's no discretionary review. And that used to be limited to buildings up to 55 feet. The major change here is now you can do buildings up to 75 feet under those standards. And the standards are a little different. Instead of a list of things you have to do, is the list of like 40 things and you have to choose 10, something like that. It's a mix and match, so you can choose your own path to get to that.
Okay.
Second thing was this change was it was clarified that design commission cannot reduce the size or height of the buildings. Which is similar to what we've been talking about on other projects, but design commission can't say.
So this would prevent the design commission from reducing the height of a building into something that's got a design overlay within it.
Right.
Got it. Okay.
And the third thing is affordable housing projects at 60% or lower can choose a type 2 review procedure instead of type 3. In other words, they can choose to be reviewed by staff. If they're going through the discretionary path, the design path, they can choose to have their project reviewed by staff rather than by the design commission. So even if they want to do that design thing, they can choose the faster and less expensive path.
And now, so is this been approved, or is this an amendment that's getting worked through now?
It's approved and adopted and in effect now.
It is in effect now. Okay. Okay. And was there pushback to get this through?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. From was it the neighborhoods? Was it?
Yes, neighborhoods who were concerned that about not having a public hearing where they could talk about the design of the building or a design of a taller building, because there is that optional standards path. Although a lot of developers choose to go through the design path anyway, so it's not entirely cutting out design commission.
Got it. Got it. And when did this pass?
In the last spring, and I think it was effective August 1st.
Okay. And what was the commission? Was there one city commissioner that was, the champion for it, or did they all vote for it?
I think it was unanimous.
Okay.
You remember?
Yeah, I think it came through Rubio's office, and she was a supporter, and I think it was supported unanimously. There was some good discussion on amendments, but council ended up coming behind it. And I think the work that the Planning and Sustainability Commission and the Design Commission did to update and develop these new design standards helped build support. The old standards were old, harder to understand, so they really worked to have a high level of design in the standards and then allow buildings to come through and use an objective path to get approved.
Right. And the Planning Commission actually came up with the raising it from 50 to 55 to 75 feet for standards.
So they're recognizing the need to, promote development, so to speak, and take down some of the roadblocks.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, because I know we've had some clients that have, looked at sites, but if there was a design review overlay, they would, they figured it's going to cost them a lot more. It's going to be a much more tedious process, and may not, just wasn't as desirable of a development potential with that overlay on top.
I forgot to mention that standards path is only outside of Central City. So in Central City, you still have to go through the design.
In Central City, okay.
But
so there's lots of areas outside, like Slaptown, Hollywood, Kearns, that recently had the design overlay added. So this process allows buildings that are up to 75 feet to go through an objective path that also avoids appeals, which I'm sure some of your members are familiar with. A neighborhood being able to appeal it to city council, up to LUBA. So standards means once you're approved, it's final.
I gotcha. So there's no, so that's the ability then to appeal and drag it on is going to be much more restrictive. So were there a bunch of new design overlays put on this in the city in the last 5 or 6 years? Is that in terms of the zoning?
With the comprehensive plan, I think is when they went in. Yeah, they a lot of the D overlay was added on a lot of corridors in Southeast, on parts of Hawthorne, parts of Division, parts of Broadway. A lot of the neighborhood main streets had the D overlay added in at least the central part of those districts.
Gotcha. Okay. With the idea being they're going to have more control over what's going to be put there, or is it? Right.
They figured this is going to be a lot of development here. We need to have the design overlay. But now, so we were able to, at this point, to get the standards in up to 75 feet, which covers all the buildings that are being built in most of those districts.
Right. Okay. So in your guys' experience with Portland Neighborhoods Welcome, are you starting to see a shift in terms of the political will and of, from building commission to, elected officials, of recognizing that the past policies and regulations that have been in place have really been a detriment to the potential of bringing development and then, trickling down to affordable housing? Are you seeing are you more welcome than the halls of city, you're more welcome at City Hall in terms of listening to the argument and, getting some of this agenda through?
Yeah, I would say that our conversations with our partners, groups that work in affordable housing, groups that represent underrepresented communities, have really turned up the volume for council and how important it is to have abundant and affordable housing across our neighborhoods, and not saying, well, there's space out in East Portland. We know that how important it is for people to be close to jobs, to transit. And I think council is trying to hear that. And I think through DOZA, it was really important that they said the objective path is important. We shouldn't allow neighborhoods to use appeals, not because they have a genuine design concern, but because they're trying to stop housing from going in. And I think council supported that. And then they also supported making it a little easier for affordable housing to go in, because we know there's this big pressure to get our projects that we've supported through bonds built. And I think council is hearing that and looking for ways to support it.
Got it. Okay. Well, I want to thank both of you for your time and effort and trying to get this through. Like I said, we've all recognized that affordable housing is a very big issue in the city and up and down the West Coast. But on the flip side, it's the kind of the anti-development kind of vibe that's kind of gone through that we've got to kind of crack through, or it's makes it, like I said, tough to make affordable housing when you've got restrictions on height and density, and they say affordable housing, but it's in a location that it's not there. So it's again, thank you both for taking the time to do this and let our audience kind of get at the inside skinny of kind of what's going on, and we'll see you next time on HFO-TV. Thank you.
Our entire office specializes in multifamily real estate, making HFO the largest multifamily brokerage in the Pacific Northwest. Your success is our passion. Build your legacy with HFO. Call 503-241-5541 or visit our website at hfore.com for more information.